He was lost and what am I gonna have, and he just left. He just left. He was completely,
Has he come back?
He came back the day after. It took him 24 hours to recover from the shock.
Now, is that what happens when you take an established brand and make it your own? In this week's edition of Taiwan Talk, we speak with Jean-Trophime Salomon, or Fim. He's the new owner of Taipei French cafe Lutetia. He talks about his transition from the corporate world to hospitality and his hopes for the revitalized and revered Taipei institution.
It's been 16 years now, so yeah, a lot happens between the moment I arrived in Taiwan and now. I did different jobs. Last company I worked for was in the electronic industry, a German company, making electronic components. And I worked for them for almost 10 years. And I always had the dream, always cherished the dream to have my own business, to be independent. And I was tired of the corporate world, and I was looking at having my own business, and then my wife also had the same dream. So we slowly matured business idea, which became later the Lutetia, which was an acquisition. And so yeah, that's how we got here.
Okay, so you've taken on a brand that's an established brand in this part of Taipei, right? What was that like for you?
So I lived in Tienmu for some time, 6 years or so, and I was a customer of Lutetia. I knew the previous owner. Lutetia is a staple in Tienmu neighborhood. It's been around for as long as I've been in Taiwan. I always enjoyed the little village atmosphere that you can have in Tienmu, and I think Lutetia really embodies that. This European cafe, very convivial, very friendly, casual atmosphere that you can find in a cafe in France or in Spain or in Italy, wherever in Europe. And I felt like home. I was coming to Lutetia to work with the bakers because at that point I wanted to open a bakery with my wife Brenda in Kaohsiung. And I was coming to Taipei to, get my hands on the dough and learn with the bakers. And I did that for some time. And talking with the previous owner, we realized that I was about to start something, and he wanted out. So we were, at a crossroads, and that's how he passed me the baton, and I decided to acquire Lutetia. I think he was waiting for the opportunity to sell to someone he knew would be taking good care of his baby that he grew. He acquired himself Lutetia. At the time it was like this tiny little corner cafe, but he grew it into what Lutetia is now, with 4 locations. And I never knew that I would be acquiring this business years later.
What has the biggest challenge been that you might have encountered when you were looking at redoing a brand that has existed in this community for such a long time?
A lot of people in general, maybe more in Taiwan, Taipei, Tienmu, might be reluctant to change. When they come in and they see, oh, this is different, and they don't really know if it's good or bad or it's different. It's changing my habits. I'm just like, I'm not sure if I like it or not. It's just like it's different. And people are. I had a customer coming in. First day he was like, oh wow, like I could see like he was shocked and where's my omelette, and we don't have that anymore, but we have other things. And I could see some kind of distress, like, oh, I'm panic really. Like I used to have the same thing every day, and now it's different, So for some people it's hard to adapt, and because Lutetia has been around for so long, and we really had some customers who came every day at the same time, having always the same thing, which is, we're all different. Some people just like to change and have always something, but some don't. And I think, once again, a lot of people in this neighborhood, a lot of loyal customers of Lutetia, they were just fine with, eating the same thing for years, and just like, no, I just want to have the same thing. And I knew I knew that it would be a shock. I knew that, and I wanted to, give this electroshock to Lutetia because, yeah, you don't want to be in this, hibernation bubble state. You need to, move forward and change, and that's why also for the previous owner it was hard because at some point you don't really know how to change things. You just don't have this energy, or you don't really have you're running out of ideas, or maybe you're scared and you're saying, we try new things. Some things will work, some things, are not going to work. It's fine, but you need to keep moving forward. It was a revolution, in little revolution in the neighborhood for a lot of our old customers. Yeah, I was a lot to take in, no, really, it's I could see like some people just changing the business hours. It's like, I used to be here at 6:30. Now you open at 7. Like, how am I gonna do? It's funny because I was warned by some customers, like, some things you can do, some things you cannot do. I had a customer, a lady who told me, Tienmu people don't like to change. Okay, why? Oh, people like to have, they do the same things and do the same way, and they're just fine with how it is. Well, guess what? I like to change things, So what about we will try, and I'm sure they'll be fine. So talking back to this customer who came the first time, and he was like, he was lost, and what am I gonna have? And he just left. He just left. He was completely,
Has he come back?
He came back the day after. It took him 24 hours to recover from the shock, and he came back and like, okay, now I'm gonna have a look, and I'll have that, and I'll try it. And he was very happy. And I really wanted to be a proper French bakery, something more with better quality products, and I think also Taiwanese customers and people in Tienmu are more mature in terms of their expectations, and they've traveled abroad and they've been to France many times for a lot of them, or to Europe, and they value that. They see that, I had customers telling me, I feel like in France, I feel like in Europe. I'm like, that's exactly what I want. That's so I'm happy with this kind of feedback.
Okay, have you had to make any adjustments with regard to your product to try and adapt to Taiwan tastes? Because what a Taiwanese person or what a local person might expect from their bakery or their bakery items is quite different from what we get in Europe, right?
That's right. So let's say we have 80% of our products that you could find in any French bakery. We have a smaller portion of our products that are more, let's say, Asian kind of breads, like Japanese kind of bakery, Taiwanese, Japanese, kind of breads. Especially we have a location in Zhensheng Hospital, and in this location is different kind of customers, right? And mostly, Popo Mama, and they're like soft breads, sweets, milky breads. So we sell more of this kind of bread there. But at the same time, it's back to what I was saying, when you don't know until people actually try. And sometimes customers tell you, I'm not going to like that. I have customers telling me, have you ever tried before, That's why I like to, you were asking me, and I gave you some ham, and that's what I do all the time when I'm in the shop. I want people to try because I like to share, right? I like to show people, hey, give it a try. This is Copa. 99.9% of people in Taiwan haven't tried this kind of product, right? Because it's very local product in France, and they try and they actually like it, and they're like, oh wow, it's super nice. It tastes great. This smoky flavor and all that, and mix it with fig chutney and queso manchego and some rockets and some dried tomatoes, and it wouldn't come to let's say that the average customer here wouldn't think of making this kind of sandwiches, and because they wouldn't think they would like it. But actually this is one of our best sellers, and people love it. So you never know until you try, right? And so this kind of, it's funny because a Copa sandwich is doing extremely well, and some other products, the pâté as well. Pâté is something quite or pâté en croûte. These are products that are very traditional, like French traditional products, but Taiwanese people like it. They love it, and it's great to see, because At first, they would tell me, no, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to like it. And they try and they like it and they come back. And then, yeah, that makes me happy.
You were listening to Fim Salomon, owner of Taipei's Lutetia. And that does it for this week's edition of Taiwan Talk. You can catch a show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you download your podcasts. I'm Hope Ngo. Until next time, thank you for tuning in.